Okay, so I wanted to make this video where I want to convince you. Well, it's not about convincing. It's this. I want to tell you the logic why it's better for casual players, the new system, and why you get rewarded more. People are just not understanding that it doesn't matter what the top rewards are. The average casual player has been getting better rewards year on year for the last 4 years. If anything, foot champions will take less time, less games, and you will get better rewards. Now, everyone is jumping about, oh yeah, the top rewards are so good. First of all, what they've effectively done, I've seen elite rewards. Let's say, for example, rank 1 rewards last year, that is now rank 2 rewards. So this new rank 1 rewards is just for rank 1. And for example, rank 2 this year will be rank 1 last year. And then rank 3 this year will be rank 2 last year. That's effectively how it is. Now, rank 2, for example, has, from my understanding, a hero pack. And then the rank 1 has a base icon pack. Now, not everyone is going to be getting 15-0. Like, you're going to talk about a fraction of the players, maybe even, I would say even a third, maybe even half, maybe even going to a third, because rank 1 was so much easier this year because of matchmaking. So maybe you can argue half, maybe even a third of people will get rank 1 because of how competitive it will be to get rank 1. And second of all, people are saying, oh, all the top tier pro players are getting the base icon packs. First of all, let's be completely honest, yeah, no BS, yeah. You're not going to be packing the bales, yeah. To tell you, you're going to be packing. You're going to end up pack players like Suka and stuff like that. That is who you're going to end up packing. You're going to end up packing garbage players, okay? You're not going to be packing Nazario, Eusebio, any of those cards. You're going to be packing absolute garbage, Nakata, and all these garbage base icons that are probably going to go into SBCs. So first of all, they're not going to be getting amazing top tier icons. Maybe if you're lucky, don't forget, it's not like 100 chance to get Ronaldo. It's like 1 in 100,000 or whatever it is. So that's, first of all, they're not going to be getting anyone good. Okay, but even then, you're worried about these icons. Let's just say hypothetically, people are saying 4 weeks in, someone got rank 1 every single week, which even a pro player would be difficult to get rank 1 in my opinion this year. If you got 4 icons, let's just say by some utter miracle, you somehow got Eusebio and let's say, I don't know, 3 other color, Blanc or whatever. People are acting like you're going to be playing these players every single time. Now with the division system, they're all going to be in the elite division. They're not going to be playing foot champions. Now, this depends on matchmaking, of course. But normally, the games only really get hard, I would say, towards the last 5 games. Remember back in the day, you used to get 20, okay, say a gold 1 player. A gold 1 player like who used to get 20 and 30, 20 out of 30 wins and back in the day. Then normally the first 15 games, they'll get like 15 and 1, 15 and 2, 15 and 3. It's only the latter stages of those games which got more difficult. And that's what I think they'll be using this year. So this is the whole idea. So if anything, this whole reward system is better because now you're playing less games. Now, the only thing I agree with is playoffs, okay? So playoffs, for example, now there's effectively 6 games. So I believe it's 3 out of 5. If I can find 3 here. We'll come back to rival rewards in a second. But effectively what it is that somewhere over here, I'm going to see if I can find it. For the weekend league, for playoffs in particular, you now can no longer, you needed before 4 out of 10 wins, and now you need 3 out of 5 wins. Now, I agree, this should be 3 out of 6. I think going from like winning 40% to now winning 60% in less games is too much. I agree. People saying to me, oh, Neil, this and that. I agree with you guys. I think this should be reduced. This will also reduce, lower the entry, make more people go into foot champs, but then they're worried that people will be a bit too easy. Now, the benefit is you have 18 tries every season. So effectively, you have 3 tries per week. So even if you failed, so let's say, for example, you had to play, let's say 10 games. Let's say you had to do it 2 times, right? You're still playing the same amount of games as last year because you're playing 15 games in Champions. And then let's say you have to do 2 playoffs, right? You're still playing the same amount of games for better rewards. And let's say, for example, once you qualify for the first time, there's normally re-qualification. So you know how last year, I think if you got like rank, I don't know, I honestly don't know, rank 6, you auto-qualify, rank 7 maybe. So there could be a chance, right, that I'm going to say here, maybe I would say maybe 6 wins, maybe even 4 wins. You need 4 wins out of 15 or 6 wins out of 15, and you auto-qualify for next week. So you're actually avoiding that playoffs by auto-qualifying. And people are saying, oh yeah, these rewards are so good. Like, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to give out base icons for like gold, for legit like 10 wins. Like, let me get my A-star drama skills out. Yeah, this is like me going. This is like me and my friend working. Let's say we both earn £10 per hour net. I'm working 15 hours. The manager asks me, "Hey, no, you work 15 hours. Here's £150." Then my mate goes, "Oh, you know what? I'm only going to work 5 hours, but I want to get to pay the same amount of money as Neil." Like, can you imagine? That is the logic people are going by. Like, what kind of you should expect the top tier players to get the best rewards. Now, if you look at the elite rewards, even if you got, for example, let's say rank 7 or rank 8, the rewards are still better than last year's time for efficiency. So, to be honest, this is such a good system overall. The only thing I don't like, which I agree with many people, and I said in the video that I agreed, but people, I think, skipped over that, is that, yeah, it shouldn't be 3 out of 6. I think lower the entries to about 15, maybe even put it to 14, right? And then make it 3 out of 6. That would be a good balance, because you can still fail a few times, and 3 out of 6, 50% of the chance. It will make matchmaking a bit easier. And then as long as they attune matchmaking for, like, let's say you're 13-0, matchmaking gets higher at that end, that would be good, because then at least you have significantly less people getting rank 1. The only thing I don't like is rivals. So the rival rewards, I think, are just too much. I think they should have done a point-based system. So in rivals, for example, you need now. So for the weekly rewards, we've gone from 3 to 5, which is not too much of an issue. But then upgraded weekly rewards gone from 7 to 15. Now I think 7 to 11 is an appropriate balance. In fact, now if you're a casual player, it's not that bad. For an elite player, getting 15 wins every single week in the elite division, especially with high SR, it's a joke. Okay, so what they should have probably have done here is on a point-based system that you have to get X amount of points for weekly rewards, and that way you can get the weekly rewards. Now, to be honest, I don't like the fact. Okay, technically I could draw so many more games, because technically it says here, look, the number of wins required from 7 to 15, so technically you need 45 points. Yes, in theory I could go and draw 45 games if I'm not mistaken, but let's be realistic. What they should have probably have done is, okay, you know what, let's make this, for example, like in elite level, let's make this 35 points, because elite level is really, really difficult to get a challenge. And let's say, for example, like, I don't know, in division 1 they make it 30, so like a tapered approach, and maybe that changes depending on how many wins. Like, you know how squad battles, depending on how many wins people have, it changes, something like that. So minimum, and then after upgraded rewards, that might be a good idea. But then I suppose that incentivizes people to play last minute and stuff like that to get the rewards. But that is why I would say overall rewards are better. I don't understand the whole argument, because now champs is only 15 games, so you're playing less games and you're getting better rewards. The only thing I can imagine is people are going to say matchmaking is a bit more difficult. But let's say, for example, even if you got, let's say, if you're a rank 5 player last year, you're getting rank 4 rewards. So even if you got the equivalent of rank 6 last year, you're still going to get the rank 5 rewards equivalent. So you're going to be getting better rewards. And I wanted to mention something also that's very, very important. I'm going to put it over here, right? So basically, you can see I made this post, and I'm going to explain something that is very, very important. Back in the day, you needed 20 out of 30 wins, which is gold 1, which is actually very hard to get. Hardly anyone got gold 1, okay? Now, last year, you only needed 6 out of 20 wins to get the same. So for gold 1, which was basically before they changed to 20 games, you had to get 20 out of 30 wins, which is, trust me, that was an amazing achievement. That was a hard achievement, trust me. Now, last year, you needed only 6 wins to get the same rewards as you need 20 out of 30. So they've actually increased the amount of rewards every single year, and they've actually made 6 wins out of 20. It's unbelievable for what you can get. And back in the days, by the way, you didn't get any team of the week picks to Elite 3 during team of the season time and all that stuff. Now, rank 5, you're basically getting team of the week, good picks. You're even getting tradable cards, rank 4 and above, I think, or whatever. So they've actually made rewards much better year on year, okay? They reduced from 40 to 30 to 20 to now 15. They should never go less than this. They've resolved the issue of self-relegation, because now no one's going to be playing in the elite division. Now, if you're saying to me, oh, I'm a casual player, I don't want to play champs, then don't play champs. There's foot friendlies, there's rush, you can play rivals, you want to be competitive. There's all these other game modes, objectives, there's evolutions. Even if you're like, oh, you know what, I'm not going to get rank 1 because of my team or whatever, you can probably spend all that time evolving a player to get a player that's probably better than untradeable base icon, than a chance of packing someone like that. So realistically, you're not really going to be suffering as much as people are saying. And then also, they've also fixed the issue of no relegation, because now in foot friendlies, They've removed skill-based matchmaking completely. So now it's a complete different skill-based matchmaking. So if you're doing objectives, if you get like 10 wins, 10 losses, you're not going to have a high SR equivalent. So now they reduced that. They also stopped you from now you don't have to use your rival. They had like objectives like win 10 champions games with X player for evolution. You don't have to do that anymore. So you're not jeopardizing the amount of wins you need now in FUT champions and rivals because you're forced to use these cards for objectives. Rank 1 objectives are worth the distance. And they basically solved a lot of issues. Now, you guys know I'm very, very critical when it comes to EA. And very, very rarely do I promote. I actually say to them, look, you know what, you've done a good job. This is the best thing they have done for the whole community for years. And this just gives you an example. Maybe now I understand is, even when they want to do everything right, they just can't win because people are always complaining. I just wanted to come back here to this video that I mentioned. So I thought I'll go over some of these responses just to maybe do it. So this individual said they made it hard to qualify, right? The truth is, okay, they made it harder to qualify. Okay, whatever. Now it's telling some argument down there. But to be honest, even if you qualify, you're going to auto. So let's say you qualify once. Let's say for some miracle, it took you 5 playoff games. And I'm sure after 5 playoff attempts, that's like 5 times 5, 25, you get in. As long as you get the minimum amount of wins, whatever that is, week in, week out, you're going to auto qualify for the next week. So technically, you might only need to play even if you're a casual player and you play champs every single week, you might need to actually only play 1 weekend league, then auto qualify every single week as long as you play. So is that really a bad thing? The only thing I would say is this matchmaking. This matchmaking, I think that's going to be the only thing which I think is going to be a bit problematic. Maybe that's when champs going to get harder. I think as long as they do the skewed matchmaking, as long as they can, that's completely fine. But like as I said, like maybe everyone in this comment section, I think everyone's missing the point here. I'm actually agree with what most people are saying, but it's a place. Imagine being 11 wins and going into your weekend league facing untradeable icons in a mega team. First of all, let's say 3 weeks in, you're not going to find a rank 1 player that makes three wins every single week, okay? But let's just say, for example, you faced a pro player, okay? Let's just say hypothetically, you faced by some miracle 2 players, okay? Now, if you verse a pro player, if I versed you, even if I used a gold rare team, a cheap 81 rated at July, and I used my team and I tried hard, and I played without mechanic abusing, I'm probably still going to beat you 99 times out of 100. Now, a pro player who's playing like it's a Champions League final and mechanic abusing they're not like me. They're not gonna. I won't even go into the corner. I won't even do a cross or anything like that. Meta. You're gonna be versing a pro. A pro could have a bronze team, okay, and they're still gonna beat you. Understand that they can have a bronze team and they're still gonna beat you. So even if you do face people with these 3 untradeable icons, and that is if by some utter miracle they've packed good icons, but let's just say hypothetically, by some miracle, they pack Eusebio and then they pack, like, let's say 2 other decent icons, which is almost impossible. I can tell you from my years of playing this, you're still going to lose. So even if you have a much better team, and this is the thing, with evolutions, now they bridge the gap. So if you really don't have time, just do the evolutions. In fact, you have a better chance of getting a better player by evolving an evolution than getting this untradeable base icon. So you actually, it's more of a prudent investment of your time to go evolve an evolution to get a guaranteed player, improve that beyond an icon stats, then actually get the base icon pick. So that's why I think the whole misunderstanding about this is completely different. No one's asked you to spend FP points. You don't need to spend FP points. And this is the point I'm trying to say. Everyone misunderstands the plot. Can you imagine, even after all these years, I make videos teaching not how, you don't have to abuse mechanics. You can use cheap teams, just teaching everyone the basics. I'm saying you don't need good stuff. And people still in this day and age with evolutions, making the game even less pay to win, have the need to spend FP points. But yeah, but this is an example of maybe one of the few times I would say, you know what? Maybe EA can't win. Because when they try to do something like this for the whole community, I think most people they find this very, very positive. But I think unfortunately, the average person that maybe says it's bad, they don't really understand. And to be honest, a lot of people who don't qualify for FUT champs, they shouldn't get into FUT champs. Like, if you're not good enough, like, it's like me trying to say, oh yeah, I should earn a Premier League's wage, but I can't become a Premier League player. Like, it is nonsense. Like, what is this? This is it's ridiculous statements to be asked, if you want me to be honest with you. But the only thing I say I worry about is the rivals. 15 wins is a bit too much. The playoffs, it should be 3 out of 6. I think at least change it midway through, or if not next year after some testing. And I won't like the fact they'll be sweaty, but as long as they have the matchmaking for the first 10 games skewed correctly, and the elo system works, like kind of like back in the day where, like, for example, someone like myself, even I used to 15k gold, like I used to like a 15k cheap rare, mega rare gold team, non-rare, whatever, 15k, actually 15k entire team price, I could still get 19 and 1. But obviously that's my level. But I'm just trying to say, if matchmaking is like that for the first 10 games, that would be what would be a disaster if matchmaking is just a bit all over the place. But only time can tell that. But I hope that kind of convinced you at least somewhat on how that even if the rewards are good for rank 1, they're not as amazing as people make it out to be. And also, how many people are going to get rank 1? Very little now, because every pro will be fighting for this. And the only time I say this is going to be an issue, if you're an elite player and you're a free to play player and you get to elite division, man. If you're an elite division player at RTG, you should get there within a month, realistically speaking, the proper elite player. The only downside is that the gap between the top tier elite players and the lower elite players, the less you play, will become greater and greater. And that is where I think this is actually the worst. So if anything, it's actually worse for the free to play elite player, technically speaking, than the average casual player. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Bit of information on. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.